Foottroller can now provide independent rudder, left brake and right brake control in flight simulation games. This video shows how to set it up. In Windows game controllers, you should see three devices: your flight stick and throttle, a vJoy controller, and Foottroller. Launch Foottroller Hub version 1.6. Switch it to Rudder and Brakes vJoy mode. In this mode, the hub converts Foottroller inputs into rudder and brake axes and feeds them to vJoy through the feeder program. Enable that mode and start the vJoy feeder. Set the Foottroller control box to developer mode so the hub receives raw sensor data. Press the ball button on the right foot to initialize rudder and brakes. Open the vJoy device properties. You should see three active axes. Z-axis, controlled by left foot pointing direction for rudder control. RY-axis, controlled by left foot tilt for left foot brake. RZ-axis, controlled by right foot tilt for right foot brake. Start Microsoft Flight Simulator. Go to Options, then Controls. Select the vJoy device and assign joystick L-axis Z for rudder control, joystick R-axis Z for right foot brake, and joystick R-axis Y for left foot brake. Open sensitivity to confirm the axes move and to adjust dead zones and sensitivity. Load a training flight session.
There's an old saying I like. A mile of road will take you a mile.
Note that at 0 foot tilt, the brakes currently sit at maximum.
Taking off isn't hard, but there are a few key points to remember. First,
invert the two brake axes, so 0 tilt equals 0 brake.
always take off into the wind.
Verify the rudder and brake inputs by checking the on-screen rudder and brake animations or using the input viewer.
We always make sure it's clear. Check to the right to see if a vehicle is on the runway, and to the left to make sure no other planes are approaching.
The input viewer is a community add-on, which can be enabled from the toolbar after install.
Check that the runway is clear. Everything looks good, no cross traffic. Go ahead and taxi into position. Now slowly taxi onto the runway.
For rudder control, change the left foot pointing direction to put the rudder input at a desired level in the input viewer. For accurate rudder control, always turn the left foot back to return the rudder input to 0 before next rudder control operation. Tilt the left foot for left foot brake and the right foot for the right brake. Adjust plane heading with the rudder by turning it left or right and return the input back to 0.
Excellent.
Because this is not a physical rudder pedal, keep the input viewer visible so you always know the exact rudder and brake positions.
Use your rudders to stay on the center line and keep pushing power until you reach 55 knots.
Adjust plane heading with the rudder by turning it left or right and return the input back to 0.
Good. Now gently gently pull back on the yoke. And we're airborne. Line up the top of your instrument panel so it's a couple
The
of
rudder
inches
can
above
also
the
be
horizon.
controlled by rotating the flight
That'll
stick.
pitch us up and set a
However,
good climb
Foottroller
attitude.
has the advantage in
Focus
keeping
on
the
flying
rudder
straight.
input at a
Use
specific
your rudders
position,
to keep the
which
runway
makes
heading
heading
at
control
210
much
degrees.
easier.
Maintain 75 knots, and we'll reach our target altitude of 5,500 feet in no time. Okay, 5,500 feet. You've reached your target altitude.